Disney's Tangled is a fun and entertaining animated film with a really unique art style. Based on the German fairy tale Rapunzel, Tangled told an endearing story that quickly put it into the category of Disney's classics. But, like most Disney films, Tangled sparked all sorts of fan theories.
No. This is bad. This is very, very bad.
Some of the ideas make sense. Some will shock you, and others will just leave you in disbelief. I'm Teresa with Wicked Binge. Get ready to pull some of your hair out, because these are shocking theories about Disney's Tangled that will blow your mind. Let's get started.
Is this hair?
Mother Gothel is the evil queen from Snow White. Mother Gothel, it's just a pseudonym for the evil queen in Snow White. While it may seem a bit far-fetched at first, there's actually plenty of thinking behind this theory. Let's set the scene first. The evil queen's name is Grimhilda.
Silence!
Both their names start with G. Snow White and Rapunzel take place in Germany, so there's no conflict geographically. What if time turned the evil queen into an older woman? Yeah, she did fall from the cliff, but hypothetically, what if she survived? And it happened to be the same cliff with the flower. At the beginning of the movie, you can see a large rock that supposedly crushed her. After discovering the magical flower, she didn't have to worry about Snow White anymore. And the queen was sneaky. She waited for a couple of decades before returning to the spotlight. I mean, the 7 dwarves and their woodland critters chased her down, as if they were about to burn her at the stake.
There she goes!
She definitely had to lie low for a while. Who would suspect that she's actually Grimhilda instead of Mother Gothel? That new identity saved her from needless attention. Then consider the fact that both movies have her seemingly falling to her death at the end. In Snow White, it was the cliff. In Rapunzel, it was the tower. Although in Rapunzel, she was already disintegrating as the spell broke. There's even more. This theory sheds new light on the whole situation of Gothel kidnapping Rapunzel. When the king and queen died, Gothel could enter the scene with a princess that had gone missing. Then she could regain the former power as a queen by using Rapunzel. Gothel could easily say that, "Oh, I found Rapunzel after she had been kidnapped."
You are not leaving this tower! Ever!
And she didn't tell her because she didn't know her real family. That way, there were fewer feelings hurt. Sneaky, sneaky lady. She can't keep getting away with this. The crown represents virginity. According to a pretty commonly circulated theory, the crown in Tangled is nothing more than a metaphor for purity. When you watch the campfire scene, you need to replace the crown with the idea of Rapunzel's virginity. And then everything makes sense. Well, kind of. Mother Gothel tells Rapunzel that Flynn is after only one thing. Supposedly, it's the tiara. And once he gets it, he will leave Rapunzel because he never cared about her in depth. Well, okay, maybe that sentiment does make a bit of sense. You can definitely see the connection.
Sorry. My hands are full.
Also, her hair could be seen as a symbol of virginity as it received power from a magical flower. Then Flynn deflowered Rapunzel because he slashed her hair. It will hit you even harder when you listen to Mother Knows Best on the movie soundtrack. Take the visuals away, and you can still pick up on the overall theme pretty easily.
I know I'm safe as long as I'm here.
Flynn's parents rejected him. What if at least one of Flynn's parents isn't dead, and they just rejected him? Maybe Flynn finds his own story so dark that he doesn't bring it up, and not even for the feels. So, there are 2 options.
I'll spare you the sob story.
His mother is alive, but she couldn't marry his father after pregnancy. The only way to escape the situation without becoming an unmarried mother was to leave Flynn at an orphanage. That would have been followed by a quick disappearance. Or Flynn's father is alive and didn't want anything to do with his mother after she got pregnant. Maybe he was already married. Maybe she was just too far below him in the hierarchy. In any case, the idea of a baby was just embarrassing. Even if Flynn's mother died, the father still wanted to erase any mark of him ever existing.
Let's get this over with, Ryder.
That could explain something about Flynn. He doesn't feel bad about stealing from the rich. If someone really powerful treated him badly, only on the grounds of his class, then Flynn would have no empathy towards any people representing this rank. Rapunzel still has magic. Rapunzel might not have her magic hair anymore, but maybe it was only one of the sources. The only reason her tears didn't power the magic was the lack of singing at that moment.
I have magic hair that glows when I sing.
While healing Flynn, she had just finished singing, and if she were to remove her tear ducts, the magic would still need to escape. It would just move to the next available body part. Another guess is that channeling the magic through the hair was the easiest option, but it was less potent. When Rapunzel sang, she could heal wounds or restore youth for a shorter period of time. Channeling through her tears was so strong that somebody could regain life. It's just that love and the accompanying emotions were needed as well.
This is part of growing up.
Corona is in Scotland or Ireland. People assume Tangled takes place in Germany. And yes, it was a component of our first theory even. The prime reason for this is the fact that the fairy tale is German. But when you take a closer look at Corona, there really isn't anything German about the place. When you think about the culture and geography, Ireland or Scotland would make more sense. Germany has more blonde people compared to Scotland. Corona lacks blonde characters. Rapunzel herself doesn't count, because her hair color results from the power of magic. The Coronan people have dark hair and blue or green eyes. Their skin is quite pale. Scotland? Yup, a better match than Germany. And consider the song called Kingdom Dance. This track carries a Celtic sound complete with relevant instruments. That's Irish or Scottish, not traditional German music. Finally, in Rapunzel and the Last Lagoon, the Corona in winter is described as super windy and rainy with a lot of sleet. That sounds a bit more Scottish than the German continental climate.
I can't believe I did this!
Now, if that's the case, Rapunzel should befriend Merida from Brave. Rapunzel is immortal. This theory proposes that Rapunzel's tears are way more potent compared to her hair.
Bring back what once was mine.
Her tear glands would provide an unstoppable force of healing and revival. If it doesn't seem plausible enough, just consider how she has no issues running barefoot all day long when she got out of the tower. Actually, that would be the only way Mother Gothel could preserve eternal youth and beauty.
You want to go outside?
Let's say that Flynn never came, and Rapunzel didn't make the journey to the kingdom. She would have just stayed in the tower for the rest of her days. Rapunzel's mortal version wouldn't have too many days left. She would get old and die. The miracle of her hair would perish, and that includes Mother Gothel. The flower survived for hundreds of years without any decay. Everything makes much more sense if Rapunzel is immortal. Mother Gothel was motivated by love. Mother Gothel managed to do much more than just keep herself beautiful during her hundreds of years of life. She fell in love countless times. Unfortunately, all of the guys dumped her, and her long life allowed her to live longer than some of the suitors. Mother Gothel tried to sustain a positive mindset, but after decades of trying, she could see that no man would really love her. And when the time came to hand over the power to Rapunzel, looks were the last truly important thing to her. She tried to hold on to the power as long as she possibly could.
Stop fighting me!
That would clearly explain her distrust of Flynn as well.
Yes, the wanted thief. I'm so proud.
And Gothel never wanted Rapunzel to leave the tower. At least, never to meet a guy. Gothel was so afraid that Rapunzel's heart would be broken by someone like Flynn. This theory received a lot of feedback. Most fans agreed that if Gothel loved Rapunzel, then it was a selfish, emotionally abusive, and twisted love.
Oh, look, you're here too.
Gothel would need years of therapy. Even that wouldn't guarantee finding healthy ways to love Rapunzel. Magic works like a drug. It's not just a magic flower. It works like a dangerous drug that can really mess up your life. Just look at Mother Gothel. When she first used its healing powers, the flower probably gave her something like an extra lifetime. But she was vain. The moment Gothel saw anything resembling a wrinkle on her face, she immediately used its power again. That means she wasted all the additional years she would have had before needing to use the flower again. Like a hopeless crackhead, she used the flower again and again and again. As the centuries passed, she developed more tolerance. The drug dependence was more than real. it consumed her life.
Rapunzel, that's demented.
Now, when we get to the times that the movie takes place in, she needs just a couple of hours to age her from her 20s to her 50s. She's hooked on magic. When you quickly cut her off from the source, she turns soon into dust. That's how quick the aging process has become because of her rampant addiction. And let's consider Flynn here. He used it only once for an injured hand. When his life is restored, most likely he gets a whole lifetime, and he wouldn't be dependent on it later. He can carry on his life without the destructive magic addiction. What do you think about some of these weird theories? Do any of them hold up? Do you have any weird theories about Disney's Tangled of your own? Let us know in the comments section below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Most importantly, stay wicked.